President Trump's steep 50% tariff on Indian goods is now in effect. Trump had initially announced a 25% tariff on India, but earlier this month, he signed an executive order imposing an additional 25% that because India buys Russian oil. India relies heavily on U.S. trade. The country's government estimates the tariffs will impact more than $48 billion worth of exports. For more, we want to bring in CBS News business contributor Javier David. He's the business editor at the Dallas Morning News. Javier, it's great to see you. This 50% tariff on India is now one of the highest rates President Trump has imposed on any country. What industries are expected to be hit the hardest there?
Yeah, the industries really are, this is bad news for everyone. But the sectors to be hit precisely are textiles, plastics and engineering goods, gems, jewelry, leather, food, and automobiles. There's one bright spot, really, which is pharmaceuticals and technology and electronics are exempted. Those are two really critical sectors that are strategically important to both countries. But, look, overall, this is bad news for India. It's a vast market. It's still a very much a developing economy. And it's not good news for U.S. companies either.
Why are they exempting pharmaceuticals and electronic goods?
Yeah, look, the impact of pharmaceuticals, it's really massive, and the U.S. has a meaningful destination for Indian farm goods. So, Indian exports in total represent like 40% of what they send out. U.S. goods to India are about 42 billion. It's just really critical. Like the U.S. is trying its best to sort of keep down costs on pharmaceutical goods. So it's a strategically, again, important way to do that. But again, this whole fight doesn't help. It really does kind of like put the two countries. India was supposed to be really friendly to us, and the U.S. needs all of the geopolitical allies it can get. It's just not, a good time to be having this fight.
Javier, India's prime minister says he will not bow to pressure over these tariffs. Where do U.S. trade talks with India currently stand?
Yeah, it's he just said that he's into trying to sort of defend Indian industries, and today a former minister actually called the policy an exercise in power. It's a policy of overkill. And now we're sort of locked in a full blown sort of war of words, and there's a Russian component here, as you mentioned. India buys a lot of oil from Moscow. The U.S. wants to punish both countries. And now India has to turn to China to try and blunt that impact. So the big picture here is beyond the raw numbers. India was perceived as an ally, but it's not a perfect relationship, but they're a friendly pro-Western country. They're a bulwark against China. Again, the U.S. needs all the allies it can get as the geopolitical sort of landscape gets a lot more tumultuous.
All right, Javier David, thank you. It's always nice to talk to you.
Thank you.